Hello and welcome to the final round of the 2025 UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup with me, Emma Martin. We are coming to you today, well, from Barcelona in Spain, where it's currently a balmy 24 degrees. It's the finale to the 2025 season. The question is, can current World Cup leaders Marion Fromberger from Germany and Jakub Klemenchek hold on to those titles today? Or will we see new leaders and winners of the World Cup in around, well, 50 minutes time? Hold on to your seats. The course in Barcelona, as we are in with it at the moment, fast and furious. 200 meters longer than before. Big power sections today. Plenty of room for overtaking. And of course, Barcelona's infamous steps. The riders have got to get those bikes to the line today. And we've already seen mechanicals in the men's 8th final. So looking after those machines, a key component to what our riders and racers are going to need to do today. Well, the men's time trial, Lorenzo Serres from France took the top spot. Klemenchek, Kalhoven in second and third. Half a second separate the top 5 riders in the time trial, and that in front of you is the results of the 8th final. Hampio from France goes out due to a mechanical on that heat number 2. Matic Zagar, the rider who was third in the Euros last weekend, he went out as well. The competition really tight already here in Barcelona, Spain. And well, it is just going to get tighter. The riders for the quarterfinals, the heats, they are starting to line up in those start pens today. And we're starting with the men. Heat number 1, Lorenzo Serres from France, the fastest man in the time trial earlier on today. Well, it's Meyer from Germany, Serres from France, Carrasco from Spain and Zago from Italy. 4 riders lining up for heat number 1 in the men's quarterfinal. It's the UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup from Barcelona. This is round 6 of 6. Now down the steps, the riders come for the first time onto that left-hand corner, up and over the jump, and then they face the rumble strip before they hit the long stretches to the tight right-hand bends. One long line of riders. It's like a mountain bike team time trial at the moment out there. 2 tight right-hand turns around the park here, and then this long, straight power section where riders got the opportunity to close down the gaps. They've got the opportunity to come around, but this is lap number 1, and everybody is watching. Now, this section here is where the riders want the lead on the second lap, because coming into this feature here and then straight up onto the steps, the ramps up the steps into the finish, that's where the riders want to go into the lead on the next lap. 4 riders coming round at the moment in heat number 1 here. And out onto lap 2, the big sweeping right-hand turn. It's Lorenzo Serres from France in 1. Carrasco from Spain in 2, Meyer from Germany in 3, Zago from Italy in 4. As they head out onto lap number 2, big drive now off the front here. Serres really wants the position now. Lorenzo Serres in 4th overall in the World Cup Series at the moment. He took the win in round number 4. 2nd in the Europeans last week. He's a rider on some real form at the moment, and he's showing it today here in this heat. This is for qualification through to the semi-finals today. We're going to see 2 riders go through. We're going to see 2 riders go out, and the 2 riders in front here being led by Lorenzo Serres up the steps for the final time. Swings around the right-hand corner straight into that finish line. Well, Serres from France, Carrasco from Spain, the 2 riders progressing. Giovanni Zago from Italy, Stefan Meyer from Germany, the 2 riders who won't go any further in the competition today. So Serres happy to sit back on lap 1 and come to the fore on lap 2, really showing his dominance there towards the end of that lap. He's going to be going well today as these riders progress. So lined up in heat number 2, it's Gegenheimer from Germany, Van Eck from the Netherlands, Lind from Sweden and Riker from Germany. I tell you, this could have been the final today. These 4 riders going head to head to see which 2 of them progress to the semi-finals. Lind, the world champion in that white with the rainbow bands coming off the start line strongly, but he doesn't get P1 onto the steps. Tight bunches. This is going to be such close racing. All 4 of these riders are going to want to go through and progress to the semi-finals, and they've been racing closely all season. Gegenheimer lying in 5th in the World Cup, Van Eck lying in 2nd, Lind lying in 3rd. Riker, well, he's not in the top 10 this year. So the riders here all competing not just for the win today, but also for positions in that World Cup series. Now, taking a look at this, it is indeed Riker who comes to the front. Interesting move here. Niels Riker pushing on strongly as they head towards the end of lap 1. Up the steps they come. Riker in 1. World champion Lind find himself on the back of the pack at the moment, going underneath the banner for the first time. Coming out onto lap number 2. Edvard Lind pushes Van Eck wide, trying to battle for position. He's in P4 at the moment, the world champion, and Van Eck finding himself out of this as well. Lind, I think, has got a mechanical. Big problem for the world champion. He's now going to be out of this for the rest of the competition. So Edvard Lind, the world champion, his competition is now over. Looked down at the bike and stopped. Van Eck on the back of the pack here, Riker on the front, Gegenheimer in the mix as well. Big push, all 3 of these riders now driving towards the finish. Gegenheimer now on the front of the group, Van Eck into Riker, the rider on the back of the pack. It's Gegenheimer who's got the advantage here with Van Eck. It's looking like these 2 riders are going to go through. I'm not sure Riker can do anything else about this now. The banner comes so tight after that final right-hand corner. Niels Riker, he led during lap 1. But finally in P3, he won't progress to the semi-finals. It's Simon Gegenheimer from Germany and Jerome Van Eck from the Netherlands who will go through from heat number 2. Just keep your eyes peeled. The world champion had mechanical problems, I think, on lap number 2. Took him out of the race. But those rainbow bands, well, Edvard Lind, he dominated that World Championships this year for 2025. But in the World Cup, he's had challenges. He was 2nd in round 1, 8th in round 2, 9th in round 3, 16th in round 4. He took the win in Brazil in round 5, but he really has been challenged through the World Cups this year. But he does have those rainbow bands for next year. Heat number 3, Eddie Molnar from Romania, Kraus from Germany, Klemenchek, the current World Cup leader from Slovenia, and Perrin Gagne, the ex-world champion from France. Out of the gate they come, and straight underneath that finish line, heading down onto the right-hand turn into the steps down here in Barcelona. The crowds are out and taking a good look at proceedings here at the Eliminator competition. All 4 riders, 2 at the front, 2 at the back, side by side, up and onto the jump, and Perrin Gagne makes the most of that. Perrin Gagne on the back, Klemenchek, the leader, in the leader's jersey for the World Cup standings, in 3rd at the moment. Molnar and Kraus in 1 and 2. So the 4 riders, we now start to see, well, this is the power section we said, and powering past the leader at the moment is indeed the current leader in the World Cup standings, Jakub Klemenchek. He's in the white and red jersey right on the front here. And as they come towards the end of lap 1, he's firmly in P1 as the riders come up the step. Perrin Gagne still with some work to do. The Frenchman holds numerous World Championship titles, but he's not looking like he's going to be in this today unless he can do something special on lap number 2. Klemenchek goes down, Molnar in 2, Kraus in 3, Perrin Gagne in 4. Klemenchek now says, I want to progress. I am leading this World Championship since Cup Series, and I am going to be the World Cup leader at the end of today as well. I'm off the front at the moment. I'm putting my marker down for the semi-final. But the next rider in that semi-final, well, that is still open at the moment because Eddie Molnar from Romania is in the mix with Louis Kraus from Germany. Those two riders side by side as they're coming towards the steps for the final time. They've got to go up one last time and then take that corner into the finish straight as the riders here battle and battle tightly. Klemenchek comes round in one. There's going to be a battle for two. Oh, you have got to be at the top of those steps to go underneath that banner in front. And it was Louis Kraus from Germany ahead of Eddie Molnar from Romania. Tito and Perrin Gagne and Eddie Molnar not going through to the semi-finals. The riders on lap one, so close, and Klemenchek found himself with Perrin Gagne at the back at the start of lap one when they came down those steps. It was all changed, though, towards the end of lap one, where Jakub Klemenchek came through to the front of the group. It then led Kraus and Molnar to battle it out for that second place. Two riders go through, two riders go out. Klemenchek and Kraus progress. Heat number 3 is Wall from France, Bin Lukman from Singapore, Corte from France, and Nemček from Czechia lined up down for the final heat in the men's quarter-final. The riders are away for the last of the men's quarter-final heats today here in Barcelona. This is the final round of the World Cup, and they take that sweeping right-hand corner and diagonally down across the steps here. And it's been Lukman from Singapore on the front here. When he has put a race together this season, it has been phenomenal. But he has just not been able to hold it round after round after round. He's right on the front at the moment. 3 riders going clear. We've got a challenge for one of the riders in the heat at the moment, and the riders, the most difficult place to maintain the bike is on those steps. We see chains, we see a rear max, and we see punches, and those are the things that the riders are watching for. And husbandry, bike husbandry, are really, really key. Looking after that machine, putting the wheels on the ground softly, ensuring that those chains stay on the bike, even though you want to get the pace and the power. And it is about getting the power down at the right place on this course to ensure you and your machine get over the line in one piece. While Justin Wall from France going through in one. Rider Bin Lukman going through from Singapore in 2. Simon Nemec from Czechia going through in 3. Corte, the rider from France, the one with the issues on lap 1, going underneath the line. These 11 seconds down now on these leading 3 riders, and these 3 riders at some point are going to become 2. And they all know it's this section here, the drive here, the big push coming on the back here. Nemec is pushing here, the rider from Czechia, on the back of this pack. He needs to close this down. He needs to come up and round before they get to the steps. He's got 2 opportunities. Big swing right there from Justin Wall. Takes him from 1st into 3rd at the moment. And it's been Lukman on the front here as he comes into the steps. Up he goes. Wall now gains his position, but it's side by side with Nemec at the moment. Wall looking like he's going to hold on to 2nd. Bin Lukman goes through. Justin Wall will take 2nd place today. Simon Nemec from Czechia, well, he will unfortunately not proceed any further, and neither will Clément Corte from France. That position, or that issue, should I say, for Corte from France coming really, really early out of the start. But the battle was on with the 3 riders left in the race, and it's been Lukman who came through for the win in the end. Justin Wall, who had led for some time, coming through for 2nd, and Nemec just not making it on that final lap. Well, the men progressing through to the semi-finals, the women lining up already down in the start. Now, earlier on today, the women took to the individual time trial, and well, it was Adela Pernica from Czechia who took top spot in that. Marion Fromberger, the rider leading the World Cup, she was 0.68 seconds back. Didi de Vries from the Netherlands came through in 3rd, and Gar Tormena set the 4th fastest time. Now you can see the makeup of this first round. Sukapalova, the world champion, Pernica, who took the win in the time trial, Tormania, the world champion from 2024, and Maria Scherstiuk from the Ukraine, who took 3rd place in that world championships earlier on this year. This is a class field. So out of the pen come the women on the first semi-final here in Barcelona. It is a stacked field today as Sukupuolona, Tormena, Pernica and Scherstiuk take to the course. Led out at the moment by Gaia Tormena. She took the European Championships last weekend. She took that European title. She's been plagued by injury early on this season. It has taken her out of a number of the rounds of the World Cup. She's completed 2 of the previous 5 World Cup rounds so far this season. Scherstiuk on the back of the group as the push comes. The drive comes from Adela Pernica. She's currently sat in 3rd wheel at the moment. It's Sukupuolova, the Ukrainian world champion, on the front. Tormena in 2, Pernica in 3. Pernica put in a phenomenal ride in the European Championships last week. She took 3rd place. In fact, she's had a 2nd and a 3rd in the 2 World Cups she's raced as well this year. These 3 riders are going to be split by a hairline. It is going to be so tight. Sukupuolova in 1. Pernica and Tormena come down the steps side by side as Tormena tries to take the lead round Sukupuolova, but Sukupuolova holding the line. Pernica comes up on the inside and takes the jump first. Tormena goes past Sukupuolova. What a move there as well. So we've got Pernica in 1, Tormena in 2, Sukupuolova, the world champion, in 3. Maria Scherstiuk from the Ukraine out of this now. But which 2 are going to go through? It's looking like the world champion's in trouble. She looks down at her bike. I think she's got challenges with her gears, but maybe not. She's back up and on it as Scherstiuk comes back into sight. What can Sukupuolova do, the world champion? Pernica and Tormena, 2 riders on sparkling form at the moment at the front of this. But Sukupuolova is not out of this yet. Big push now to the steps. And it's Tormena who's going to come up and through onto the steps first. Pernica's got an issue. She gets the gearing wrong. Sukupuolova comes through. What a move for the world champion. The race is not over until you are over the line. And Adela Pernica, what a problem going into those steps. She just went to find a gear and it just wasn't there. Gaia Tormena in 1. Maria Sukupuolova in 2. Adela Pernica and Maria Scherstiuk, the 2 riders not going through. That was a real battle out there. These 3 women on the front of the race, Sukupuolova, Tormena and Pernica, switched the lead all the way around the 2 laps of the course here in Barcelona. Tormena taking the lead just before they hit those final steps, and Pernica just stalling on them, allowing Sukupuolova to go past. Well, the second semi-finals lined up now. Orvecek from Hungary, Borrelli from France, Fromberger from Germany, and De Vries from the Netherlands. Fromberger leading the World Cup at the moment. Didi De Vries in 3rd. The push is on out of the start as they head out onto the steps for the first time. Fromberger, Borrelli, De Vries and Orvecek. All the 4 riders safely down on the first time through. And it's De Vries from Borrelli, from Fromberger, from Orvecek on the back of the group at the moment. Marion Fromberger just keeping an eye on proceedings on P3 at the moment. Borrelli and De Vries on the front of this race and continuing to push. Looking like they're going to lose the rider from Hungary, Orvecek. She's just getting slightly distance off the back, but the 3 riders now pushing on. Watching the pace because Orvecek now able to close that gap down and come back on. Lap number 2 is where the action is really going to happen. They want to get up onto the steps and onto that start straight, out onto lap 2 in one piece. As Borrelli comes up alongside De Vries. De Vries, Borrelli, Borrelli, De Vries, the 2 riders on the front, keep changing it around. Fromberger still sat in P3, so Didi De Vries from the Netherlands leading them out. Margot Borrelli from France now in 2. De Vries coming to the front, and great to see De Vries sitting back on the first lap This season, she's gone out hard and tried to hold it and often got caught on lap 2. This time round, she holds it on lap 1 and pushes on lap 2. The gap now back to Marion Fromberger. Wow, what can Fromberger do? She's got a big enough gap in the World Cup Series to take the overall title today, but she'll want to go out on a high. She'll want to podium today here in Barcelona, and she's watching and waiting. But she's got Margot Borrelli of France ahead of her. Didi de Vries at the front of this is going to want the front line going into the steps now. Fromberger comes up onto the wheel of Borrelli. What can Fromberger do? I'm not sure. She's going up side by side on the steps. The two riders come through into the final corner. Fromberger has the inside line and pushes Borrelli wide. What a move from Marion Fromberger to come through on that final corner, positioning on the step, absolutely everything. Didi de Vries, Marion Fromberger, the two riders progressing to the major final. Borrelli and Orvacek will join Pernia, Kerr and Scherstiuk in the small final. Gaia Tormena, Maria Sukapolova, Didi de Vries and Marion Fromberger will go through to the final today. What a race. So the results of those women's semi-finals on your screen as we head down into the start pen for the men's first semi-finals. 4 riders up: Ceres, Van Eck, Carrasco and Gegenheimer. Riders are ready. Gegenheimer from Germany in 1, Ceres from France in 2, Van Eck from the Netherlands in 3, and Carrasco from Spain in 4. And the whistle goes and the first semi-final is away as the 4 riders come through, sweeping round on that right-hand bend into the steps. It's Jerome Van Eck on the back of the bunch at the moment as, well, Alex Carrasco from Spain, the local rider, pushing on at the front of the race here. Ceres in 2, Gegenheimer in 3. The push is on here and there's a stretch on the group. Van Eck finding himself on the back here. Rider from the Netherlands now getting up onto those pedals and really pushing as Lorenzo Ceres chooses the moment to come up onto the front. Gegenheimer comes round. Carrasco as well from Spain. So Lorenzo Ceres in 1, Gegenheimer in 2. Van Eck now makes his move to come through into P3. The 3 riders going up onto the steps, all overtaking on the second half of that lap, getting into position. Lorenzo Ceres in 1 goes underneath the banner and out onto lap number 2 in P1. Gegenheimer P2, Jerome Van Eck P3, Carrasco from Spain. Well, the rider on the back of the group now as Ceres continues to drive. Gegenheimer looks behind. Wow. Van Eck in all sorts of problems at the moment. So Jerome Van Eck in all sorts of problems, leaving Lorenzo Salis and Simon Gegenheimer away and clear. Van Eck on the bike, he's riding. But Lorenzo Ceres and Simon Gegenheimer finding themselves able to take a breath here in the semi-finals. I tell you something, don't look at your timing screen because you're going to miss the action. Don't look away, don't make a cup of tea, don't take a drink. This is Mountain Bike Eliminator. It's fast, it's furious, and anything can happen. Lorenzo Ceres comes through and qualifies through to the major finals. So does Simon Gegenheimer from Germany. Van Eck and Carrasco will come through for 2nd and 3rd. Keep your eyes peeled on the replay. Let's see if we can pick up what happened to Jerome Van Eck on that 2nd lap. He comes through, there it is, slide out on that top corner, just taking that top corner. Fast, too fast into that corner, slid out, and then it landed himself in all sorts of problems, had to pick himself back up, get back on the bike, and well, as we say in Eliminator, anything can happen, and it does. So the 2nd semi-final been Luckman from Singapore, Kraus from Germany, Klemenchek from Slovenia, and Vol from France. They're lined up and ready to go. So away goes the final semi-finals in the men's race, and Ben Lukman comes to the front of the pack. Klemenchek, right, paying closer attention this time out in 2, but just getting squeezed out at the moment. It's close 2 and 3 here as we watch the riders come down and around lap number 1. A much steadier state lap this time out. Ben Lukman happy to lead them through. Jakub Klemenchek happy now to be sat in 3rd. This big power section here on the course. Now the riders start to push. They start to challenge Ben Lukman. They want to be the first rider into the next feature and then the first rider into the step. They want to lead into lap number 2. The push is on. The drive is firing now because these riders are all battling to make the big final. Ben Lukman comes wide on the right-hand side, trying to carry some momentum into the step. Great job from Ben Lukman because he comes round the outside. Klemenchek battling it out here. Ben Lukman in the mix. Louis Krause is here as well. Justin Wall still in contention in the green jersey at the back of the race here. But it's Krause from Klemenchek from Ben Lukman at the moment. And Louis Krause from Germany driving on the front. Jakub Klemenchek, the leader in the World Cup Series at the moment. He is right on that wheel, and now Ben Lukman getting gapped. What can Ben Lukman do on this final section? Klemenchek, I expect, is going to try and challenge Krause. They're going to want to stay clear of Ben Lukman. Ben Lukman, whatever he's trying to do, it is not enough at the moment because Louis Krause from Germany and Jakub Klemenchek from Slovenia are the 2 riders we're going to see come into shot here. They have daylight back to Ben Lukman now. Shoulder check there from Krause, just checking. Klemenchek comes up and over the top. It doesn't matter. They're going to be across that line in 1 and 2. The 2 riders going through to the main finals today. Louis Krause from Germany, Jakub Klemenchek from Slovenia, Ben Lukman from Singapore and Wall from France will go through to the small final with Carrasco and Van Eck from the earlier semi-final to contend places 5th through to 8th. Well, the second lap really did make a difference in both of those semi-finals in the men's race. And riders getting caught out, just carrying too much pace. Momentum is your friend, but too much going into these corners is just too much. And well, yeah, it's a fine line between success and, well, not making it to the place you want to be on the day. So let's take a look at those semi-finals results. Ceres and Gegenheimer going through from heat number 1. Krause and Klemenchek going through from heat number 2 to the finals. Carrasco, Van Eck, Ben Lukman and Wall will go through to the small finals for the men. The women's small final lining up down below. There you go. You can see the finals. The small final for the women, it's Pernica from Borrelli, Orvecek and Schersiuk. The small final for the men, Van Eck, Carrasco, Ben Lukman and Wall. The small finals will be up first. The finals for the women from Berger, De Vries, Tormena and Sukapolova. In the men, it's going to be Ceres, Klemenchek, Krause and Gegenheimer. They will come up once the small finals have been decided. Its places 5th through to 8th. that these small finals decide today. Well, in 1, it's Scherstiuk from the Ukraine, Pernica from Czechia, Borrelli from France in 3, and Orvecek from Hungary in 4. Well, the riders driving out of the start, and Pernica putting in a massive start, but it's Margot Borrelli from France on the 1, Scherstiuk in 2. Well, Pernica is in 2, Scherstiuk is there. She's off the back, actually. It's the Hungarian rider, Laura Orvecek, who has come through into 2nd place at the moment. She's doing a great ride at the moment. So we've got Borrelli in 1, Pernica in 2, Orvecek in 3, Scherstiuk in 4. As the riders come down towards what is going to be towards the end of lap number 1 of the small finals. And Pernica happy to leave Margot Borrelli out front, but now Stewart comes round. She's come round from P4. She's going to want to progress. She's going to want to at least, well, I was going to say she's going to want to hold that P3 position, but she gets pushed out into that feature. As the course narrows, Stewart got pushed out and she stays in 4th place. Pernica now comes through at the top of the step. She's not going to make the gearing mistake she made in the quarterfinals. She goes out into the lead in lap number 2 in the small finals. We see Borrelli into 2nd place. Overcheck in 3rd. Stewart in 4 at the moment. Stewart just unable to do anything to close down those gaps and to come past the rider from Hungary, Laura Orvacek. But Borrelli and Pernica now, in fact, Adela Pernica now really starting to push away the rider from Czechia. She put in that phenomenal performance last weekend at the Europeans to take the bronze medal. She's had a 2nd and a 3rd place in the 2 World Cups she's ridden so far. It's looking like if she can hold this, she's going to take 5th place here today, but anything can happen. She lost out on this final feature in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. Pushing on here, and is Borrelli challenger. Borrelli is coming up onto the side of Pernica here for the finish today. What can Borrelli do? Borrelli is going to take 5th place today, getting Pernica on the line. What a move from Margot Borrelli, the French woman, against Adela Pernica. Borrelli, what a race today. She's going to take 5th place. That was a phenomenal final move from the French woman to come round Adela Pernica. On that final feature, into the final line, Pernica has the lead. Borrelli has the pace. Borrelli takes 5th place. So the men's small final lined up now. From Singapore, Bin Lukman. From the Netherlands, Van Eck. From Spain, Carrasco. And Wall from France. The 4 riders, they've been given 15 seconds. They are awaiting the whistle. Well, away goes the small final in the men's race. Jeroen Van Eck is going to be kicking himself for that issue he had in those semi-finals, coming too fast into that corner and just washing out. Bin Lukman goes to his favourite place, which is the front of the race at the start, leading them out. Van Eck in 2, Wall is in 3, Carrasco is there as well. Just watching the race, Bin Lukman holding a steady pace on the front of this quartet at the moment. Very shortly, they're going to want to position themselves, and you can see now the push is coming. The push is coming from Justin Wall. He now wants the front of this race. Bin Lukman in 2, Van Eck in 3. Van Eck is going to want to watch and keep hold of this, but Wall coming through now. Van Eck, well, he's looking at his bike again. He's got challenges. He's got problems with that machine. Just Jeroen Van Eck from the Netherlands is out of this. A mechanical this time after a full last time. But Wall comes through in 1. Bin Lukman comes through in 2. They go out onto the front of this final lap. Justin Wall, the man from France, in the green jersey. Bin Lukman, the man from Singapore, in red. These 2 riders looking like they're going to take 4th, 5th and 6th today in the World Cup here from Barcelona. Alex Carrasco, the rider from Spain, the local rider in P3 at the moment, and Jeroen Van Eck, the mechanical, taking him out of the small final today. That's one rider who has just not had a lot of luck, and it really has been luck. You know, he's finished in the main final for each of the rounds of the World Cup he's partaken in, but he had a real challenge in the World Championships this year. He took 9th place. He was defending world champion going in, but at the moment it's Bin Lukman who's going to come through ahead of Wall. Take a look at that. Rider Bin Lukman comes through from Singapore to take 5th place. Justin Wall from France. Well, Bin Lukman came out into his favourite position on lap 1. He led the race at a steady state, and then Justin Wall moves through from the back of the field to the front of the field. Then it was just the 2 of the riders after Van Eck had the mechanical, and on that final corner, yet again. That's how it took place in the women's race. This is how it took place in the men's. Ben Lookman comes through to take 5th. Wall takes 6th. Carrasco will take 7th place today. Lining up down in the start right now is the women's final. Sukapolova from Ukraine, the world champion, in 1. Tormena in 2. De Vries in 3. Fromberger in 4. This is a cracking race, and Marion Fromberger paying attention at the front of the race. She's gone through into P1. Tormena comes up onto the side. Nobody wants to pick up the pace here. Look at this cat and mouse going on here from these 4 riders in the women's final. Marion Fromberger, the rider from Germany, in the white jersey with the red. That's the World Cup leaders jersey. Tormena with the red helmet in the European Champions jersey. Sukapolova in the World Champion rainbow bands. And Didi de Vries in the Netherlands National Champs jersey. These 4 women, phenomenal bike racers. They all know how to make the moves in an elimination race. It's Sukapolova, the world champion, who comes onto the outside. She drives. Tormena wants the wheel. Tormena comes round. Fromberger as well. She wants Sukapolova as well. She doesn't want to let the world champion go. The world champion from 2024, the world champion from 2025. They're side by side at the moment, coming into the final lap here. Oh, Sukapolova gets pushed wide. Tormena goes through in 1 here. Fromberger comes through in 2. Sukapolova, the world champion, got pushed wide on the corner. She's got a lap to recoup. She's got a lap to bring it all back together. But at the moment, Gaia Tormena, the Italian rider, is on the front here. She's pushing away. Fromberger can't close this down at the moment, but they've got a long stretch after these 2 right-hand bends. What can Fromberger do? What can Sukapolova do? Can she bring Didi de Vries back into this? Tormena now unleashes the throttle on the front of the race. She's driving towards the finish line here today. Fromberger, head down, arms out. She's trying to put the power down and close the gap. She's closing the gap to Tormena. Gaia Tormena in 1, Marion Fromberger in 2, Maria Sukapolova in 3, Didi de Vries in 4. The 4 riders coming up to the final of this race today. It's all about holding your race together, Gaia. Tormena's going to come round. Gaia Tormena takes the win in Barcelona. Fromberger comes through in 2nd place. The world champion Sukapolova, she challenged at the end of lap 1, but it didn't work out. Didi de Vries takes 4th place. De Vries has been super consistent this year, and it really has been an absolute breakthrough year for the rider from the Netherlands. It's been fabulous to see. But this is the move from Sukapolova. She came round, she just couldn't hold it. It was Tormena and Fromberger, those 3 riders at the end of lap 1. Nothing split them, but Tormena comes through dominant in the final round of the World Cup here in Barcelona. The men's final down in the start at the moment. Kraus from Germany, Ceres from France, Klemenchek from Slovenia, and Gegenheimer from Germany lining up. And the whistle goes, and away goes the final in the men's UCI Mountain Bike Eliminator World Cup. This is the final round of the World Cup, 6 from 6 here in Barcelona today. And these 4 riders battling it out. Jakub Klemenchek, the leader in the World Cup, taking straight to the front of the race at the moment. Gegenheimer on the back. Ceres and Kraus in the mix. Kraus in that blue jersey. Ceres is there. Ceres moving through now. So, Kraus in 1. Klemenchek in 2. Ceres in blue in 3. Gegenheimer in black in 4. The push is on, the riders come side by side. They all want to move into this section here. And Klemenchek comes wide and tries to move the riders out. It doesn't work for Klemenchek. He pushes into the gap. They've made a gap. He's gone in. He's gone through. So Klemenchek goes through in 2 here. Well, Lewis Kraus, the rider from Germany, goes through and underneath the banner in 1. Klemenchek's there, Ceres is there, Gegenheimer's there. All 4 riders still in contention at the moment as they go out onto lap 2. Lorenzo Ceres comes through now. He took 2nd in the European Championships last week. He's a rider on form. And the French rider now right at the front of the race. Jakub Klemenchek, if he wants this today, he's going to need to move now because it's Ceres from Kraus from Klemenchek. Gegenheimer towards the back of the race at the moment, but it's Ceres driving all the way. Lorenzo Ceres from France. Here comes Klemenchek on the outside. Klemenchek pushing on. He's going to come round and challenge Ceres. Who's going to go in first? It's Ceres who goes in to the feature first, but it's Klemenchek who's going to make the step. Klemenchek goes up, but he stalls. Klemenchek stalls. Lorenzo Ceres goes over the top. Ceres from France is going to take the World Cup win here in Barcelona. Louis Kraus from Germany is going to take second, and Steigen Gamenheimer comes through for third place. Jakob Klemenchek, well, it was a big move, but it didn't pay off. But I think Klemenchek's going to have done enough today to hold that World Cup leaders jersey. What a final in the women's and the men's. Klemenchek came to the fore. Lorenzo Ceres pushed past. Klemenchek kept battling. He kept trying to come round Louis Kraus and Lorenzo Ceres. This was the final move from Klemenchek to win the race. But take a look. This is where it happened. He just, there it is. Oh, just missed. Came unclipped. That's where Klemenchek lost the race, on that drive into those final steps. But Lorenzo Ceres, Louis Kraus, Simon Gegenheimer, 1, 2, 3 today. Klemenchek in 4. There we go. There is the results of the men's race. Ceres taking the win today in the men's race. But Gaia Tormena, we're going to hear from her first.
Recordeu que d'aquí a mitja hora començarà la competició de xoc de noies, després xoc de homes. Ara broma de competició que van presentar els protagonistes d'avui.
Today I just wanted to win so bad, so I really prepared at my best for this race, because here I won many times, and yeah, so I'm super happy, and I can't be more happy knowing that the World Championship will be here next year.
Congrats and all the best for the off-seasons to recover.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, Gaia Tormena taking the win in the World Cup here in Barcelona, round 6 from 6. And you can see the flower ceremony there. So Gaia Tormena from Italy taking the win today. Marion Fromberger from Germany taking second place. And Maria Sukhopolova, the Ukrainian world champion, taking away the bronze. Well, it was the final round of the World Cup, and Marion Fromberger came in wearing the leader's jersey. She's helping up Marion.
Yeah, it's just amazing to win this special title. The first time for me, it's really special, and yeah, I had a lot of fun here in Barcelona. The crowd was super, and Spain, I love Spain, so I can have no words for it. It was just amazing.
It was already clear that you have like enough points to make it like today. So how did you went into the race, and how was the race for you?
So my big aim was to have fun and to enjoy racing. I knew that Gaia will be here and start the race again, and it was just amazing to race against her again. And she's full power back, so I'm really happy that she's well, and yeah, congrats to her for the daily victory, and now we can celebrate together tonight in Barcelona.
Congrats, and all the best for your off-season to recover.
Thank you so much.
Well, the camaraderie between our athletes here on the UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup is just phenomenal. And Fromberger saying it's great to have Gaia Tormena back on form and racing. Now, you can see the preliminary World Cup standings. Marion Fromberger there.
Like a World Cup win.
Now we're going to hear from Lorenzo Ceres.
How do you feel about this one?
Je suis vraiment content d'avoir gagné aujourd'hui. Ça fait la deuxième fois consécutive. L'année dernière, j'ai gagné aussi. Et je suis vraiment content d'avoir gagné, car la semaine dernière au championnat d'Europe je finis deuxième à pas grand chose, et j'ai dit à tout le monde que je voulais finir ma saison en beauté, et du coup j'ai réussi à gagner. Je suis content, en plus il y a toute ma famille qui est là aujourd'hui, alors ça me fait vraiment plaisir de concrétiser cette première place.
And what can we expect from you in the next season?
Yes, j'ai hâte la saison prochaine aussi et ça va être une belle saison.
Merci.
Merci.
Well, Lorenzo Ceres taking the win today here in Barcelona at the final round of the Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup. You can see he took the win. Louis Kraus from Germany took second place, and Simon Gegenheimer from Germany took third. Fabulous racing today here in Barcelona in both the men's and the women's World Cup racing. Marion Fromberger, we heard from her, she took the win in the World Cup Series for the women. Jakob Klemenchek takes the next.
Yeah, the race went pretty good. I didn't have the strongest hits, so that helped me a little. But anyway, I needed to fight till the end, and at the end it was enough to take the overall title. So yeah, I'm more than happy.
At the beginning of the race, you said like you're a little bit nervous because you have like big contenders. So, but the semi-finals they went completely different.
Yeah, but I also think that also Joren Vanek and Edwin, they were also a little nervous when they did mistakes in the semi-finals. So yeah, I just needed to keep my head in the focus, and I did that and succeeded at the end.
Perfect. Well, congrats for the overall title and enjoy your win and celebration tonight.
Thank you.
Well, Jakob Klemenchek, a popular winner of the World Cup Series here. He's raced hard all season, and you can see taking that win in the World Cup Series from Lorenzo Ceres in second. Jeroen van Eck sits in third, and Edvard Lind in fourth. Fabulous racing all season from both our women and our men. Brilliant to see. Well, Barcelona is indeed the host of the World Championships next year. So I'm hoping you are going to join us for that, because that will be the World Championships for 2026. But of course, we have the World Cup Series yet again. Today was round 6 of 6. We've been to Dushanbe in Tajikistan, which is where we started. It's been a great season of racing. We started in Dushanbe in April. Barcelona rounds us out in October. The 2025 Eliminator season has not disappointed. Congratulations to Gaia Tormena and Lorenzo Ceres for their win in the final round of the World Cup. Big congratulations to Marion Fromberger and Jakob Klemenchek, the World Cup winners for 2025. We're going to be returning in 2026 for more Eliminator racing. I'm going to leave you with today's highlights. Until we come back next year, enjoy your mountain biking. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Looking forward to fight for the rainbow jersey, because Edwin looks really nice in this jersey.
It looks nice and you deserve it. Congratulations, Jakob. Era la coscioglia, aquí tenim a Marion Fromberger.
I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really happy to celebrate tonight with all of you.
And I must say, you were not very lucky during the season in some of the races, important races, but then you were very constantly in the World Cup, and that's what made you winning. Today, you did an excellent second position, so nothing else to congratulate you.
Thank you so much. It was really amazing to race against Gaia again, and she's back, totally back. I'm really happy to race this high level here in Barcelona. It was just amazing. And in Barcelona makes me really happy, so thank you for everything.
Thank you to you, and we see you next year for the World Championship, and see if you can wear already the rainbow jersey.
Just with an amazing crowd here.
Thank you very much. Un big applauso, fem un gran applaudiment a Mario Fromberger, que creia que està especialment content d'haver aconseguit aquesta aquesta victòria a partir així del circuit de la Copa del Món, haver-se'n emportat la Copa del Món aquí a Barcelona, una de les ciutats que ella comenta que prefereix la seva favorita i que li fa donar uns resultats que està lluitant durant tota la temporada. No ha sigut una temporada fàcil, la de Marion Fromberger, quan a l'últim moment una trencada de cadena l'apartava de la gran final del Campionat del Món, on tenia moltes possibilitats de portar-se'n una de les medalles. Sens dubte guanyava la petita final, però no la gran final. En canvi ara Marion Fromberger se la veu especialment contenta d'aquesta victòria i nosaltres que ens en alegrem molt perquè l'hem vista créixer, per dir-ho d'alguna manera, en les diferents proves que s'han anat fent aquí a Barcelona. De l'altra banda, Jakov Klemenchik també comentava que estava content no només per la victòria, també perquè gran part de la seva família, dels seus amics, de la seva ciutat natal, havien vingut aquí a Barcelona per gaudir d'aquesta espectacular temporada que ha fet. No oblidem que, així com Marion Fromberger estava bastant encantat que s'ho emportaria Jakov Klemenchik, ha hagut de suar-ho fins a l'últim moment. Quin atac més impressionant que ha fet en l'última recta, però tot i així ha aconseguit aquesta quarta posició que li dona els punts necessaris per guanyar la Copa del Món. Estava content i diu que per l'any que ve li agrada molt aquest mallot arquiris i per tant que farà tot el possible per emportar-se'l. Nosaltres ara però ens estem preparant ja per al short track per poder començar d'aquí a pocs minuts. Us esperem a tots i a totes. No us n'aneu perquè també és una cursa interessant la que veureu, una mica diferent. No hi ha ciclistes eliminats, són poques voltes en aquest circuit. Això sí, torna a ser una cursa tàctica la que veurem aquí en aquest circuit de Barcelona. On a entendu déjà ces deux vainqueurs de la Coupe du Monde commencer raconter cet exploit qu'ils ont vécu aujourd'hui. Ils n'ont pas réussi à faire la première place, mais quand même ils ont réussi à s'emporter la grande victoire. C'est que tout ça pour Marion Fromberger, ce n'était pas une année facile. Elle a eu des problèmes au championnat du monde, mais quand même après, elle a réussi à se supérer. Aujourd'hui, deuxième place, incroyable, Marion Fromberger. Et de l'autre côté, c'est Klemenchik qui a réussi à se tenir encore. Dommage qu'il n'a pas pu faire la victoire dans cette dernière, mais l'autre se serait silencé. On dirait plus fort pendant toute la compétition, déjà du début, quand elle a fait la première place.
No sé